What's up, guys? I want to sharpen my Esee 3. It's kind of sharp, but it's not where I would like it to be. Jeez, just got to handle all that. It's got a few hangs in it, and it's just generally not biting into the paper the way I want it to. I want it to be a lot sharper than this. I'm not going to put it on a really high grit. I'm going to start with this 600 stone, 600 Chaucera, and then go to the 1000 grit Chaucera and probably just leave it there. 1095 doesn't like a polished edge in my experience. It seems to not bite as well polished, so I'm going to leave it unpolished and around the 1000 grit. I've already marked the edge with Sharpie so we can see what we're doing. Before I start, I want to say I appreciate everybody that showed their support with Pavlov Sandor. Everybody that said they would donate money, that's very generous of you. It seems as though they've already gotten that situation figured out, so it looks like we're not going to need to do that. But I'm sure it means a lot to them, everybody who showed their support. And I appreciate you guys who were my subs and you were going to do it for me, just because I asked you to. That was a really good show of support, and it's good to know that people in this community have that kind of heart. So just wanted to say thank you. Gonna start with the 600 grit stone, like I said, and I guess I'll just go ahead and get to it. Want to set the bevel with this grit, which isn't the easiest thing in the world to do because it does not cut all that fast. It does cut with some speed, but it's not fast like the DMT coarse stone. So we'll just continue on. My DMT course is actually with DMT right now. I had a little problem with it. So we'll see how they handle it, and I'll probably do a video on it. Right now I'm setting the bevel. I'm going to try and keep it around 18 degrees per side. Maybe a little bit more, I don't know. But I don't want it to be too steep, but I also don't want to thin it out too much either. So I am thinning the belly out quite a bit, which I didn't want to do, but it's okay. It'll just make it cut better. This knife does have a bit of an extreme belly curve right here, so I'm having to do this weird exaggerated sweeping motion here, but it works, so no problems. Alright, I have a burr, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to the other side and get a burr going on the other side, just so I know I've taken out all the damage. Go ahead and check my Sharpie. All the Sharpie came off pretty much in those couple strokes, so I'm not going to have to do any heavy work on this side to get the angle where I want it to be. It's just kind of there already, which is nice. But that does mean the edge isn't centered on this knife, which is a problem, and I'm going to need to correct that later down the road. Alright, I think we formed a burr. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean the burr off with this 600 grit stone. I could leave the burr on and move to the 1000 grit stone, but the more you've worked on the lower grit stone, the better your edge is going to be after the higher grit stone. So if I left a huge burr on at the 600 grit level, it's not going to be as sharp as it could be at the 1000 grit level because it's not as refined as it could be before stepping up, if that makes sense. You want to have your edge as sharp as it can possibly be at the grit you're at before you move on. And how you do that is just do alternating strokes with very, very, very light pressure. And that should do the trick. We'll go ahead and test sharpness at 600 grit. Got a few catches in there, a few hangs, which I would imagine is a little bit of a burr I didn't clean off. Yeah, the edge feels smooth, so that hang has to be a burr. Oh yeah, we cleaned it off. No burr, but this is just a 600 grit edge, so it's extremely toothy right now. Extremely toothy. So we do need to move up to the 1000 grit stone, and that's what we'll do now. Geez, I hope you guys were in focus that whole time. Alright, here's the 1K Chaucera, which is probably one of my favorite stones. Just like the look of it. I like the feedback it gives. It's just a really cool stone. Not going to mark the edge. Pretty much got muscle memory down for this knife now. So I don't need to mark the edge with a Sharpie. Shouldn't take long on this stone to get the results that we desire right now. And again, I know this is nothing special. It's not a groundbreaking video. I'm not getting hair whittling mirror polishes. But people always seem to enjoy watching me sharpen, so I figured why not record it. Gonna do it anyway, so why not just record it, right? Like I said, it should not take very long on this stone. To get the results we're after. I'm using extremely light pressure, like barely the weight of the actual blade on the stones. I do want a toothy edge, but I want that toothy edge to be as sharp as it possibly can be. Gonna go ahead and test. May still have a little bit of a burr, which I don't think we do, but since we have a little bit of time, oh yeah, it's sharp. It's sharp for even 600 grit. Since we have a little bit of time, I'm not going to polish the edge with a 8000 grit stone because 1000 to 8000 is too high of a jump. What I'm going to do is just kind of strop the edge on the 8000 grit stone. And that's not going to polish the edge like I said, but it's going to give it a little bit more refinement. And it's going to refine that scratch pattern a little, but it's not actually going to polish the edge. So Nebulax actually taught me this technique. This stone's really good for deburring and getting your edge sharp. Just kind of using the stone like a strop. And I'm just trying to match the angle that I'm sharpened at, and I can actually see it's removing metal. But the jump from 1000 to 8000 is too high to actually achieve a mirror polish. So it's not gonna give me the results that I don't like, which is a highly polished 1095 edge. This is just this is the equivalent to buffing a low grit edge, kind of like how Callie does. He'll lay an edge on a 120 or 180 grit belt and then buff that edge. That's essentially what I'm doing, but not as extreme. This is also a stone that Waco sent me. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's definitely removing metal. Alright. Dry the edge off. See what we got. Feels sharp, but you never know. I may have failed epically. Don't think I did though. Oh no, it's sharp. That 8,000 grit stone makes a huge difference. An extremely big difference. Wow. Nebulax, if you're watching this, I really appreciate you giving me that tip. That makes a huge difference in this edge. It still has that bite of a lower grit edge that I like, but it also has enough refinement to be really, really, really sharp. So that's awesome. I may use this technique for all of my 1095 knives. I have laid a mirror polish on my 5 and my jungless, but I think I'll go back and use this technique. Like I said, I don't like the way 1095 cuts with a mirror polish. Right now I'm just trying to get any last burr that I may have off and just cleaning the edge a little bit more. Go ahead and move this. Hopefully I have some room here. Sorry, this D7000 doesn't have an articulating LCD screen, so I can't see what I'm doing. Extremely sharp. Love the way this steel bites with a lower grit edge. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's getting through that paper. No problem. No problem at all. Much sharper than when we started. There you go, guys. Not a hair whittler. Probably wasn't an exciting video, but this is what I wanted out of this edge. A little bit of toothiness, but still refined enough to do some really detail work, like cutting paper and shaving if need be. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Geez, I fail at cutting paper at this angle. I can't do it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.